you can see all of that grime that's inside. When it comes to the mini split unit, if you do not remove and clean this part of your unit, it could be greatly decreasing the performance of your mini split unit.
Hi, welcome back to Lineal Haven Life. I am Kristen. This is my wonderful husband, Poetry.
If you're new to the channel, our family of 8 unexpectedly sold our house in the city, bought some land and an RV, lived in that RV full time and moved it onto our land, and we're building our homestead up from the ground up. When we moved to our land, we got 2 sheds and turned those into 2 tiny house livable spaces.
So for this tiny house right here, we installed this DIY mini split, a Mr. Cool mini split. And it was one of the first things we installed when we got this space to become a livable space. And then in this tiny house, we also installed this Mr. Cool mini split as well.
And as Kristen said, we have 2 mini splits on our land. We live in Florida and temperatures can get over 100 degrees here, and so we needed mini splits that could keep us cool in the hot Florida heat. The mini splits are DIY versions. They're about 12,000 BTUs each, so they're more than enough to heat and cool these units. We've had them for about 3 years. At the end of this video, we're gonna do a 3-year review. Today, what we're doing is cleaning out the system. We've cleaned out the mini split before in the other tiny house. And one thing that we noticed over time is that, yes, you need to clean the filters. Yes, you need to clean the coils, but there is one major part in the interior unit that you have to take out and clean. And because we've noticed twice now that if you don't clean it, it can slow down your unit. And if you don't, all you're doing is basically just cleaning a filter, maybe wrenching your coils off, but this part which is behind the coil that you have to disassemble the whole unit, it's just collecting debris, it's collecting dirt, it's collecting grime, it's collecting dust, and it gets caked on there. And so it'll slow down the unit. The unit will not actually heat and cool at the temperature that you're trying to set it at. And also this part is connected to the motor. We're gonna clean the whole unit and show you exactly what really needs to be cleaned. If you skip over it, it may cause damage to your unit, it could slow it down, and you're not really getting the most efficient use out of your mini split unit.
We had cleaned out the unit in the other tiny house, and that one was just not cooling properly. At the time it was summer. We were running it, and it just wasn't cooling it down. So we got that one cleaned out. And then with this one, we noticed a couple weeks ago, we were running it, and it was kind of an unusual smell. It seemed to be working okay, but the smell was kind of indicating something wasn't quite right. So yeah, so we want to, take care of these units. We plan on having these tiny houses for years. And one of the things you got to do is to
disassemble the whole unit.
Yes, you got to maintain the things that you have, which we try and be good stewards of what we own, and make sure it gets the longest life as possible. So that's what we're doing today.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
Wait, does that apply here?
Well, healthy unit. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. It applies.
So
we'll play it.
We're gonna go inside and we're gonna break this unit down. We've already shut off the AC breaker inside. We're gonna pull this AC disconnect breaker now. And we'll just lay this right here on top. To give us some more room, we'll move this desk out the way. First, we're opening up the unit, pop this up, and we'll take out both of the filters. These are very clean, as you can see. But if they were dirty, you can run these under water and the lint and whatnot should fall off, and then kind of let them air dry. So if these were dirty, I would do that right now, so that would give them enough time to dry. And we'll take this one out as well. And as you can see right through these, so these filters are good. Once you get your filters removed, right here is a plate. You can take like a screwdriver right here in this hole, and this should pop right out. And be very careful because there's tabs and whatnot in here. Okay, and we'll just lay this to the side. There is a power supply right here. Take note, whatever you remove, that'll have to go back in that same spot when we put this back together. So there's a power supply right here. Right here. And you're gonna push down on this tab right here. And then this part is what disconnects. And there's two pieces right here. And you're just gonna kind of pull that apart. This top part should come out. And that is now your power supply to the unit is also disconnected. There's a tube that's up here. We're gonna pull this out of these two slots right here. And just kind of move that to the side. There's a screw here and there's a screw here. We're going to take those out. There's one there, and then there's one here. There's a slit right here where the louver is. We can pull this down. And already you can see all of this dirt and muck coming out of this unit. Right here, oh, if you hear a voice, that is Sparrow, our sixth child, our fourth daughter, who is helping. So right here, there is a tab that's holding this louver into place. And what you can do is take this piece, this gray piece, and the white piece right here, that's the louver, and just pull those apart. And that part drops down right there. On both sides of this louver right here, there's this louver goes inside of the unit. You're gonna pull that out. There you go. And then the other side should come right out. You can already see how dirty this is. We haven't even got inside the unit yet. So this all will need to be cleaned. Right here in the center of the unit, there is a tab. You could take a flathead screwdriver and put that here, and that should easily pop right up. You're gonna take a Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew that screw. At the very top of your unit, there are tabs that hold your unit into place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those have to be pulled up. Once they're pulled up and you've already got your screws out, you're just gonna pull up like that. This is what holds the body of your unit into place. All of those are pulled up and the body of your unit should now come off. Once those tabs are pulled out, this should come right off. And just be careful of any wires or tubes. And this will also have to be cleaned. There's a grounding wire right here and right here. Those need to be unscrewed. And then there's also a zip tie right here. This will need to be cut. And then right here is a tube that needs to be pulled out. So we'll go ahead and pull that one out. And there's your tube. That'll go back in here. We did one, let's get the second one. Right here is the blower motor plug cover. That needs to be removed. And this red tab right here on the blower motor plug needs to be pulled out. And be careful of these wires right here because they are very small. This red tab right here holds the blower motor plug in. On this red attachment, there's two tabs on the side of it. Those got to be pulled out of the way so this can come out. There's one at the top and then there's one at the bottom. The tab is here and the tab is here. That's what's holding that in. And you have to pull those apart or spread them out so you can pull this out. On the left side of this blower motor plug, there is a tab. You should be able to squeeze on that. And once that tab on the left-hand side of this plug is pushed in, just squeeze, and it may take a little bit and you can pull that out. So that is detached now. And again, just be very careful of these little wires here. Once you remove that plug, you're gonna go to the top of your unit and take a Phillips screwdriver, and there's a screw that's holding this controller board, and unscrew that. And then right here, there's a tab that needs to be pulled up on. And then that separates the control board from the unit. If you want, you can just let this unit hang, but there's 4 or 5 wires right here that connect to this motor, and I didn't want the weight of this unit being held by those 4 wires, even though there's this strong cord right here. So I just kind of tied this up to the unit kind of loosely, so that all the weight, or a lot of that weight, is not pulling and tugging on those 4 wires right here. Now, we could have already started cleaning this coil here, but that's not going to really thoroughly clean this unit. Again, we got to get to that blower wheel because there's going to be a lot of gunk and debris and just grime on that wheel, and it's preventing that wheel from spinning at its full potential, and it could affect your heating and cooling of this unit. So we're going to continue on, and if we started cleaning this, there would be water and still some fluid in here. And we're going to go ahead and get to the back of this unit, pull that wheel out, and then we'll start cleaning this as a whole part. And then we'll start cleaning the coils. On the left side of the unit, right here, is a coil mounting screw. We're going to go ahead and remove that. And then at the top, right here, we need to pull this up and out. On this motor cover, there's a screw here and here that needs to be removed. Now that you got those screws set out and that little tab that holds the coil in place, you can pull your coil away from the unit. Here we can take a look at the blower fan. And you can see all of that grime that's inside. When it comes to the mini split unit, if you do not remove and clean this part of your unit, it could be greatly decreasing the performance of your mini split unit. Anything that is getting on the coils, any dirt or debris or grime, it's also getting on this wheel. So we could just be cleaning the coils, but it's just fleeing, especially when the unit's on, it's just flinging it back onto this blower motor wheel, or this blower motor wheel is just flinging it onto the coils. Now, what we have to do as we have the coils pulled away is we're going to rotate this blower motor wheel, and we'll pull this up out the way and be very careful not to smash that. There is a set screw in here that needs to be taken out. Well, as you see, this is a tight space in here, but there is, on the right hand side right here, there's a crevice. And if you look in there, you will see the set screw. That needs to be unscrewed so this blower motor wheel can come out and we can clean it. So what you're going to do is take a screwdriver looks like a Phillips head. Take a Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew that screw, and this should slide off. All right, we'll take our Phillips head screwdriver. We're in that space. Unscrew that and carefully pull that screw out. There's one other screw that's holding this blower motor cover, and it is right here. And it is right here at the bottom. We're going to unscrew that. And we'll just take these and pull that up. And there's your screw. Before we take the fan blade out, we need to take this piece out right here that holds it in. And if you just pull up on it, it comes out and then slides off. Now, this should slide out. This will all need to be wiped out and cleaned out. And again, this is why you can't just clean the coils. You really have to get inside of here because yeah, your coils might be clean, but still in here is all of this debris and gunk and who knows what else this is. You can just see the grime coming off of just these parts. This isn't even the actual unit. This is the main culprit, this fan blade. So just doing this is not going to cut it. We're actually going to spray this out, but we're going to try and get most of this off. And we're going to run this under the hose to kind of really hit this hard. Because we got to get inside of there. Even though the outside of this looks clean, inside we still need to get in there. It is gunk all in the inside of this fan blade. The outside is good, but we got to get inside. We're hitting this with the jet setting on the hose to get really inside of there. You can already see inside that coming out. Look at all that. That's all inside just this fan blade. We would put the unit cover in that cleaning solution as well, but there's an electrical part right here that connects to it, and of course we don't want to get that wet. So we're just going to spray a solution of vinegar and water on this. You can use whatever you feel like, but we're going to use some vinegar and water. Spray it on here, let it sit, and then just kind of wipe it down. If you ever needed to change your mini split unit motor, this is where you would do it. But for this purpose, we're not changing it. We're just going to move this to the side so it doesn't get wet as we're cleaning the coils. We have some $2 plastic and a $3 or $4 roll of tape, not even a roll of it. And we're going to just kind of prep our area here so no water detergent gets on the walls and floors. And we want to be very careful of any other electrical parts like the motor over there, so we want to stay away from that. And while we're in here, we are going to spray inside the unit and let that sit and soak. Get all in that louver. When we're rinsing this off, we don't want to bend or damage these coils. And even a high pressure water stream can bend these coils. So we just want a very light rinse on this just to get everything, all of the dirt and grime out. And we're just using a water hose, nothing fancy, just for a little, on a light pressure setting. And we have a bin down here to catch this water. We're rinsing all that. Keep the bucket underneath here while we wipe inside of the unit. Yeah. Shake, shake. See all this has to be coming out. The mini split unit is all cleaned up, so we're just gonna go backwards and put this back together. So we're gonna put this piece in.
Like already it's overlap?
No. Yeah,
so that doesn't go in, it just sits.
It goes in the hole there.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, I couldn't see that there was a hole. Here, wait.
Got it?
I'm all snug. Here, wait, hold on.
Yep.
Come on. There we go.
Ah. And that'll go there. You will need to make sure that this white piece is sitting in here properly, not over here, because that feels like it would be snug, but this is gonna rub. You wanna make sure that this white piece is sitting right here. Even though it feels loose, that is the proper spot for it. You would think right here, that, oh, okay, that's holding it there. But no, it needs to sit properly right here, and this will spin freely. This is key right here to making sure that this wheel rolls freely. We need to turn the fan blade again so we can get to the set screw. All right, there it is. And then we need to turn this motor, I'm gonna pull this back out, On this motor, there's a flat part on here. We want that flat part facing us. There we go. You want that flat part facing you, so when you go to put that set screw in, it sits flush against that flat part. And we'll get that screwed in. And you'll feel it when it's tight. We're putting the motor cover back on, and then we'll put the 3 screws back that hold the motor cover on. On the left side of the unit, we are popping this back into place where we took it out of. Before you screw anything else down, you want to make sure that this tab right here, if I can see it, the one that we took out earlier that holds the coil in place, you want to make sure that that tab is back in place and that it's holding on to that coil frame. That needs to be, let's see, yeah, that needs to be set in there. Back on the left side of the unit, we're going to get this screw back in here. And then we're going to put this screw back so we can screw the coil to the motor cover. And we're going to untie this strap that we was using to hold this control unit. And we'll get that popped back in place. We'll take our plug here, push that back in. The red clip that we took out earlier, we're going to get that back in place in the same spot. We'll pop this cover back on, make sure nothing's in the way. We'll get this screwed back in. Screwing down the 2 ground wires that we unscrewed earlier. And putting back in this pipe temperature sensor. We got a new zip tie and we're putting it around those 2 ground wires and the coil, basically putting it back in the same vicinity and spot where we cut the one earlier. And then we'll cut the excess off. And I'm going to move everything out the way. And we'll start with the bottom, which looks like it's already there. And then we're pushing those 5 tabs back into place. This cord here, we'll reconnect it. And then get that pushed back where it needs to be. And then we'll put the cover back on. For the main cover, you should have a screw that goes here and a screw that goes here. There's a screw that goes in there. And snap that back into place. We'll place this end of the louver right here. And do the same to the other side. Put that end in there. And then this piece right here, which we got to be careful of, we're going to move those 2 apart. And then I'll snap into place. Okay, we can put the filters back in. All right, and then we'll get that closed. Don't worry about that louver, because when we turn this system on, it should reset itself. We'll put the quick disconnect back in. Make sure it's right side up. So you saw us as we went through the disassemble, the cleaning, and the reassemble of this unit. It is doing great. It's running. We can definitely tell a difference. We did it on the cool part. We did it on the heat part, and it's running back up to how it should be running. Here's a 3-year view of both of our mini splits.
So I would say overall, as I remember installing these, for the most part, when it came to like installing, it was pretty straightforward.
As long as you follow the instructions.
As long as you follow the instructions. It definitely was a little time consuming, but well worth it when you think of AC and heat for smaller places. It's extremely efficient.
Yep.
I would say if
Top
you
dollar with the gold flea collar. Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, that. I would definitely say that it just runs very quickly. It's quiet. It's probably the most efficient AC and heating we've ever had. Even when you compare it to, say, a giant unit that you have for a home, to me those tend to be a little more high maintenance, and I just don't feel like this thing's super high maintenance. It's just a fantastic unit.
We've had them for 3 years. Again, as you saw, we clean the filters, pretty much on a regular basis, clean the coils. But again, the part that we have had issues with, if you don't clean it, you got to go through that whole disassemble process and take that fan blade out and fully clean it. You can't just run water on it. You can't just put clean on the outside because it's not getting inside of that fan blade. The motor is meant to turn a clean blade. The more dirt and the more grime and the more dust that collects on it, it's weighing that fan blade down, which is putting more stress on your motor. So that's why some may have issues with their motor, because it's trying to turn that fan blade. So if you keep up on that fan blade, take it out, clean it. Is it a process? Yes, but it's worth it.
Yes.
So that is our 3 review. I would give it what'd you give it?
I mean,
plus A?
I would give it like what are we doing? 5? Are we doing stars? Are we doing 1 out of 10 or 5 stars? 1 out of 5 stars. I give it a 4.5 stars.
Okay.
Well, I would say 4.5.
4.5.
And I would also say that it helps keep your electric bill down when it's running well.
Oh, yeah.
Because the more efficient, it just does what it needs to do, and then it kind of, so yeah.
That is our 3-year review on the 2 Mr. Cool mini splits that we have. Thank you so much for watching Linnell Haven Life, and we will see you next episode. All right, I'm gonna go turn this heat on. It's supposed to be a cool night.
Yes, it is. What, 30s?